Hello Primer 5. Let's complete our story Grace Darling chapter 8, the worst sea of the year. The worst sea of the year. Let's see the main points of this chapter. Grace was looking out of her window through the telescope. Grace saw two men on the top of the rock. Grace saw two men on the top of the rock. Grace decided to go with her father to save those people. Grace decided to go with her father to save those people. It took 15 minutes to get the boat ready. She was very cold and afraid, but happy and excited too. Her head and breast were wet. Grace hoped that she could save the people. The little boat got smaller and smaller on the wild sea. Let's see our question for this chapter. Let's start. What was Grace doing while her mother was cooking in the kitchen? She was looking out of her window. She was looking out of her window through the telescope. What did Grace see when she looked out of her window? She saw two men on the top of the rock. She saw two men on the top of the rock. Did Grace decide to go with her father to save those people? Yes, she did. Yes, she did. How was the sea that morning? It was very wild and angry. It was very wild and angry. Yes, complete. Grace put down the telescope and called her father. Grace put down the telescope and called her father. 2. Think of those poor people alone on that rock. Think of those poor people alone on that rock. William Darling put down the telescope and looked at his daughter. William Darling put down the telescope and looked at his daughter. No boat can come from the mainland in this wind. No boat can come from the mainland in this wind. Yes, let's complete. How long did it take to get the boat ready? It took 15 minutes. It took 15 minutes. 2. How was Grace when she was with her father in the boat? She was cold and afraid, but happy and excited too. She was cold and afraid, but happy and excited too. Her head and dress were wet. Her head and dress were wet. Could Grace and Mother hold the boat away from the rocks? Yes, they could. Yes, they could. What did Grace hope? She hoped that she could save them. She hoped that she could save them. What did Thompson do? She watched the little boat. She watched the little boat. Yes, complete. The waves nearly broke the boat on the rock. The waves nearly broke the boat on the rock. 2. William got into the boat and sat at the front. William got into the boat and sat at the front. 3. The boat came down between the two waves. The boat came down between the two waves. They didn't want to lose an hour in the wild water. They didn't want to lose an hour in the wild water. The little boat got smaller and smaller. The little boat got smaller and smaller on the wild sea. That's all for today. Thank you. Goodbye.